Hey everybody, my name is Thomas and thank you so much for tuning into another Evisceradio show here on YouTube, where I sit down with bands that I play on the radio show and talk about everything from what's good in life, what's good in music, and everything in between. It is guaranteed awesome, genuine good times. I love doing this show and I'm really, really happy that you guys are sitting down and going along for the ride with me. British Columbia, Canada is home to some real sweet gems. The scenery is beautiful, the people are awesome, and the death metal is fucking nasty. And at the top of that nasty pile is Altered Dead. These guys are nasty, nasty, and nasty. The name Altered Dead should just be a sign as to how disgusting their sound is. It is very unique. It is very entertaining. They're just a great fucking band to listen to. They discovered those guys during like the COVID lockdown times. They're at the top of my recommendation list for just straight up fucking gruesome death metal. Very, very cool stuff. Do yourself a favor and check these guys out. I've been looking forward to talking to them for a while now, and today's the day. Finally get to do it, and I get to share the content with you. So once again, thank you so much for tuning in. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. Ladies and gentlemen, Altered Dead. Yes. Awesome, brother. Fucking awesome headset. Like, you're outside, you getting your morning walk going?
It's 8 a.m. Yeah, I'm just out on my deck here.
Oh, right on. Right on. Yeah, I got my stroll on before I sat down here. I kind of got surprised with a couple of days off and wanted to stretch my legs and get my head clear. Just 1 second. There we go.
Got some nice plants there.
Thanks, bud. I'm kind of a plant guy. Every place I've ever moved to in my adult life, I've always just sort of stuck with plants. I grew up with them, Parents were big plant people and shit. My mom was in the house plants, and my dad grew the dope plants. So just fucking plants all over the place.
Nice. I got the black thumb. I can't grow anything. I tried.
The black thumb of death. Yeah.
Correct.
for me, it's like certain like species, like these deep green leafy guys over here. They don't need any, like, they're very low maintenance, but like spider plants, they die a horrible death every time I do them, and I just fucking, and I don't want to go the way of artificial plants. I'm doing something wrong, but I don't know what the fuck it is.
Yeah. Well, you're talking to a guy that killed a cactus, so
you killed a fucking cactus.
That poor buddy. I'm so sad about that.
Oh man, that's a good one. You gotta like try to kill a cactus, I think, don't you?
I think I tried too hard.
Oh, that's hilarious. But yeah, man, listen, thank you so much for sitting down with me.
Absolutely.
You guys specifically were like among the first bands that I reached out to during like a time when I was going to jump on the YouTube shit. And I'm really happy that you responded with a yes. I've been looking forward to sitting down and having a little chat with you guys. But so again, yeah, thanks. But I wanted to actually fucking ask you played a show for the first time in 2 fucking years, man. And and I saw all the Instagram shit and all the pictures and stuff. It looked like you were having a ball. Everyone was having a super duper blast. And I was just kind of wondering, like, how did you feel? Like, were you worried about the rust? Like, fucking, or the crowd being into it? Like, what was your brain at?
Like, it's kind of like riding a bike. We've been playing for so long, but like, honestly, at the end of it, my hands were just shaking, right? Like, I don't normally feel nervous when I play. It's just like another day, it's just like going to band practice. But like after 2 years, and there's like people have these expectations. You're just a 2-piece, and you're just a couple of dudes just playing some death metal, right? So, you get in your own head a little bit. But like aside from that, like it went really well. I couldn't have been happier.
Yeah, I did. It looked like it, man. It looked like I was looking at you guys, but I was also looking at the crowd too. And like everyone had like the same similar, like, oh fuck, live stuff on their faces. you know what I mean? It's proof. It's proof that like now that all this COVID shit is kind of like out of the way and everyone's going to check out all these live shows, that everyone is like eager to do that. Over on my side in Toronto here, everyone that I talk to is like got tickets to go see something and are like super excited about it, whether it's like a music show or like a theater thing or whatever the case. Like people just want to go out and do some stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Everyone's just way hungrier than they've ever been. It took a while, like for because it was an early show, so people need to like get into the zone to like thrash about and like really get into it. But like about like fourth song, I'd say just like the crowd went berserk, just like thrashing about and like in Victoria, we've always had really good crowds in whatever show you go to. But a lot of the times, people just stand back and sort of clap for you, and
Sure, yeah.
it's and that's always hilarious. But no, like nowadays, just there's like a new audience. Like there's like way younger people that are showing up that I've never seen before, and it's really cool. Um, but like there's just people that just thrash way harder these days, and yeah, it's really good.
It's interesting you say that you're noticing like a new batch of people. You mean like as in like comparisons from pre to post COVID? Because I would think
Yeah,
that a lot of people have discovered like all this new shit and are coming out with vigor and like just want to check out the new stuff, and maybe that brings a new type of thrash element to the pit or something like that.
yeah, in like 2 years, I mean, there's whatever, like 17-year-olds that have come up and now are able to go to these 19 plus gigs. And we also do like in Victoria, it's not strange to have all ages shows for the brunt of it because like I don't know, we all kind of find that it's kind of important, like when you're a kid, like and you can see like the type of music that we are, and you can't always get into those gigs. It's really great for people to inspire them to even like do the same kind of music. Half
Yeah,
these people are going to be musicians one day.
yeah, for sure. And you get them while they're young, man. Get them while they're young. It's great you say that. Like I'm a supporter of like the underage venues and stuff, or sorry, the all age venues. And coming from Halifax, we only had the one for the metal shows. There's one or two like bars and stuff like that for where the metal shows would typically go, but there was one right smack in the middle of the peninsula, and that's where everybody who came into Halifax with any kind of name to themselves, like extreme metal wise, would just wind up going there. And I've known a lot of those kids in like my in my audio engineering sort of dance that I did, as it were, in my 20s, where they would just go and check out these fucking shows, and they are still banging it out there today. And like, if you don't provide them with a means to check out the stuff that they're into at like a developmenting age or developing age, then like who know, they might stray. You know what I'm saying?
And that's all. I mean, that's all right too. I mean, it might not have been in them, but it's good to have the option, regardless. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Very, very fucking yeah. Where did you guys play last night? Or not
So
last night, but Friday.
there's this new venue in town. Oh, it's old. It's like it was known as like the diviest bar. Like not a lot of people would go there. You'd have like your chain smoking like it's hard to it's like any dive bar in any major city where you'd have a pool table and like the neon light dance floor, and
Oh
like
yeah.
two people would hang there and have like pints at the bar type of thing. But like in Victoria there's like a lot of development, I'm sure, as there is everywhere, the housing crisis. And so they there's this bar called the Carlton, and they've taken it over for the next 2 years because it's going to be torn down and turned into a condo. Um, but this guy called it the Carlton Project, and now he does like DIY wrestling events out of there, and
That's
has turned it
hilarious.
into a live music venue, which is perfect because the only punk metal bar in the city closed down after decades, Logan. So, um, you know, it was a good timing for them to bring that up, and it's just got the right amount of like sleaze to the venue for it to work for the kind of music that's going around here.
Yeah, totally. That's
Yeah.
that's hilarious. There's a few of those in Toronto. I found out in my latest stint of checking out live shows out this way.
Yeah. There used to be a place called the Metal Bar, and that didn't last too long. I remember, and that was like right under like a mattress store. It was hilarious.
Yeah,
That was
really.
ages ago. Ages ago.
The only metal bar, I guess. Well, I don't even know if it's a metal bar now that I think about it, but it was the Rickshaw. It was the only ever place I ever went to check out like metal stuff. Like a Nile came a long time ago, and Behemoth was there too.
Yeah, I think it was at that gig
Oh
at
yeah.
the rickshaw. Yeah. Being an old man, being up on the balcony to see Nile.
Oh, fuck that, man. That's where I go too. Like nowadays, anyways, I don't have the pit endurance. Every bone I've ever broken has been in a pit. I'm fucking 40. I can't, I just don't want to anymore. You know what I mean? Like I want to go, I'm brittle. I use my body to make money. So,
That's right. Yeah.
So like when the last time I was down, actually it was at the Commodore, which is another venue out there, and Cannibal Corpse was there with Abysmal Dawn and Obituary, I think. And I showed up early and I found a table on the side where front of house usually is. And that was the first time where I sat down on a show and I was like, I'm not going in that pit. I can't do it. And so I sat there and watched and I had a fucking blast. People would just come and sit and chat in between songs and bands going in and out. And I was like, I could get used to that. I felt like I almost had to swallow my pride going in because I felt like, as young as I was, I felt it was like my duty to go in there into the pit.
Right.
But now fucking like just sitting down and chilling, having a pint and seeing bands do what they do and being able to observe what they're doing on stage as opposed to like getting your shit smashed in fucking much more preferable.
Yeah. Well, I'm surprised you could even get like comfortable at a table at a Corpse show. I mean, like every time I've seen them, if you're like anywhere close to the floor, there's no breathing room. People are just gonna move, you know?
Oh yeah, for sure. I think it had something to do with the elevation of where I can't
fair
remember.
enough.
I can't remember, but I was insulated and I enjoyed it. They're coming here in November. Yeah, they're coming here in November, and there's no tables where fucking this is gonna be at. So I'm gonna have to fucking choke it up and go in.
Yeah. Is that gonna be at the Opera House?
Yeah, I think. Yeah, it would be the Opera House. That or the Danforth. I'm pretty sure it's the Opera.
Yeah, probably. I mean, Corpse is massive now. I think I've seen them like I saw them when tickets were like $18, and then like I saw them again when tickets were $25, and like last time I saw them they were like $60 tickets, and it's just like whoa.
Yeah,
Same band, but like just more people are just going, and the venues get bigger. So
exactly. Yeah. Well, I mean, $60 is still a fucking, I'd pay $60. Symphony X, it wasn't on the Danforth website, but I paid like 120 US for fucking the Symphony X ticket. And it was like I didn't know that there was like it was like one of those fucking sketchy rip-off sites where they take most of the money. I sort of just like Symphony X is coming and fucking just bought it right on the spot. And then I found out that like, holy shit, did I ever pay like way over double? But
damn,
it turned out to be a kick-ass fucking show, man. Killer show. Yeah. So listen, thanks again for sitting down with me. I wanted to talk to you. So in our correspondence before today, you had mentioned that there was some stuff you guys are working on internally concerning like your lineup and shit. Like you guys were a 4-piece and you went down to a 2-piece. And then now there's word that you might be going back up to a 4 again. And it's not often that you see bands go through like a numbers shift in terms of their lineup concerning
Actually, I'll correct you. We've always been a 2-piece.
Ooh, okay.
From the very beginning.
No way.
Yeah, and then we had a bass player briefly, and did a few gigs with him, but he had work in life that was pressing and couldn't really commit. So we were like, all right, we're back to a 2-piece, and like we've been a band for like. Metal Archives will tell you we've been a band for like 8 years, but we've been going for like 13 or 14. So,
yeah, okay.
Just Julian and I. Julian and I were in a black metal band before this death metal band, and we had he was playing bass and I was on guitar, so we had that dynamic. So it wasn't. And Julian's like a multi-instrument player. He's just so good at whatever he picks up. He's just one of those people. Having never touched an instrument, he could just pick up and shred. Like that's
Nice.
the type of guy he is.
Cool.
So when we started Alter Dead, I had like an electronic drum kit, and we were just doing it in my bedroom, basically, just picking up songs, and then, you know, got a real drum kit, started playing live, and like, yeah, he was just a natural on the drums. Um, and so what happened was we were just like confident that we could play live as a two piece, and our deal was like we need to have a friend in the band. We're not gonna have a hired gun just to be like, hey, you got the look, let's get you going. We're
Yeah.
just like that. So
Yeah. Lame.
um, and it takes a while. So our friend Cam, he's played in a grindcore band called Amnesian in town, amongst other bands. Like he was in a band called like Black Lotus and Archon Legion. He was just playing with for live stuff. And anyways, Julian and I ended up talking about this switch, and part of like an issue when you're a two-piece band is sort of like the motivation and interest. It's when you're just two people, it's easy for one person to say, I don't want to go to practice today. And then the other person says, I don't want to go to practice today. And
Sure.
it's chill, right? But at the same time, the motivation sort of suffers. And that's just life, right?
Oh, absolutely.
We're not like a touring band. We just like to write, and we'll tour one day, I'm sure. But um, I thought if we get our good friend in Cam on drums, he's just a phenomenal drummer. Um, there'd be like a new resurgence of just creativity. So I talked to Julian about that, and as I mentioned, he and I had guitar bass dynamics, and so I think Julian's probably going to move over to bass and do vocals, and then I'll continue doing guitar and do vocals, and then Cam will just play the drums.
Awesome. Awesome.
And sort of like move to a power trio, and that keeps to our core values of just like no hired guns. Got to be like a deep friend of ours, because why are you playing bands if you're not playing with friends? Doesn't make sense.
No, 100%, man. You want to keep, like, if you can have people that you have a rapport with in your band that you've known like for a long time, that just makes for a more organic sound as opposed to someone who's just like cold placed right in there, like a hired gun kind of thing. The boy Mutilated by Zombies, who I spoke to like about a month or so ago, is the same sort of deal. They've been together forever in a small town called Dubuque, and they all just sort of know each other and have had the rapport before going into writing like their third album, I think it was. And it really shows that you can go from like humble beginnings with people who you know, and then you bring in like the fresh injection of like good spirited people whom you have background with, and it totally just adds to the element of the sound. So I'm really happy to hear that like that's where your headspace is at with this kind of thing. It means fucking album number 3 whenever that comes out is going to be stupid good.
Yeah, we're stoked. Like, and Julian, he's got like a lot of material, which before it's always been sort of me that's been the writer, and I want to open up the opportunity to let him sort of take some of the reins on writing, and then I can have some input. But as long as it still sounds like us, why not, right? Like, he knows how we sound, and he's a really good player. So he's got 4 songs, and we've got one nailed right now, and it's like a cross between Exhumed and Carcass.
That's sweet.
Or you could just say Carcass at this point, but his riffs are pretty gross, and but he does really long songs, and whereas I'm more of a short songwriter, so I'll kind of go through it, and I have to learn these songs, and I can just sort of review it and cut some fat out of there, if you would. But yeah, it's gonna be all right. Like, I think it's gonna open the doors to just like a heavier sound.
Jesus, you guys are gonna get heavier. Holy fuck. Man, fucking Return to Life is goddamn heavy, man. That shit is fucking nasty. That shit that album's been on repeat for quite a while. typically what I'll do is before I sit down with the band, I'll plug their stuff in my own personal time, whether I'm walking around or at the gym or whatever the case may be. But like I always offer more and more time to like that album specifically because of fucking just how nasty it is. And I can't help but laugh sometimes. And I wanted to compliment you now that I'm here that Altered Dead, the name, and why you guys went with that totally fits like the sound that you have, and then the artwork fits the theme of the music, and it's just such a the whole Altered Dead package seems to me very cyclical and symmetry-ish, and like it's focused and it's really really cool. I don't see that with a lot of bands. Like each element feeds into the next, whether it's the sound or the artwork or that kind of thing. And one of the things that really stood out in terms of like if I were to name something Altered Dead, pretty much aside from the sound, would be the artwork. Like the two albums. Oh, by the way, are those hand drawn? Those covers?
Those are paintings. Those are done by Matt Sidney. He goes by Abomination Malio on Instagram or whatever. He's local in town, and I've known him for a while. He was in a crust punk band way back. But yeah, he's just an incredible artist. He's been working with Vault of Dried Bones, and recently he's been working with Leviathan and stuff like that. So he's really come into his own. But every time we've worked with him, I've always had like a visual in my head about what the artwork should be, and I'll walk through it with him. And it's like if he's on board with the idea, which he usually is, it comes out in his paintings. Like it's really great to be able to work with somebody like in that way, where it's like your vision is now being worked in another medium with somebody who has similar tastes and ideas as well. So Matt,
yeah, no joke.
Definitely, we're working on the third album painting with him, and it takes him a while. It's just like anybody with art. Like you can feed the idea and you foster it, and then over time it'll manifest. So like the third painting, we have a prototype of it. He just did like a charcoal sort of sketch and said, "What do you think?" And I was like, "I think you nailed it."
Fucking sweet.
Yeah. So I believe the working title for the third record is going to be called Mutations Through Death.
Ooh, cool.
And like the general theme is what happens to the body over months of deterioration, basically.
Oh man, yeah,
and
that's some Altered Dead shit.
And hopefully that like reflects in the music too. Like I think the like my idea, and well, it's yet to be seen, but my idea is to make it like sort of like seasonal sounds or seasonal decay, like a concept. Like all of our records have an idea behind them, but that's the idea of this one, I think.
Yeah, cool, man. Fucking well, I mean, it smacks of concept and forethought. Like, I mean, both of those album covers like fit the theme of the albums in terms of the sound themselves, like really, really, really well. The first one is almost nightmarish, where like it looks like I'm not exactly sure what the fuck is going on in that one. Actually, it looks like it's either something is eating something or devouring something.
So, like the concept of the album art for the first record is a transgendered mutation of trees and insects and humans.
No shit.
Yeah. And so it's just like,
oh, I see the root system and shit. Oh, fuck off.
Yeah. And that's what we gave Matt at the time, and that's what he came up with, and that's sort of exactly what I had in my mind. I was like, yeah,
dude. The second one, while just as fucking awesome, is a bit easier, at least for me to figure out. It looks like a fucking shitty planet leeching the life off like an innocent star kind of thing. Was that? Well, I mean, that's what it looks like to me. But like, what was kind of what was your overlying concept with that?
That's just you're right with the shitty planet. It's the planet rejecting its inhabitants and returning itself to the universe.
Wow.
Yeah.
Fuck.
And so those are like some veins that are connecting back to the universe and sort of giving back that life to the stars.
Oh, that's so cool, man. Do you have the original paintings?
I do, yeah.
Yeah, fucking right on.
They're they're massive.
Oh yeah, like
I,
framed up and on the wall kind of situation.
they were on my wall. Right now, I'm in a new place, and the placing of those paintings, they don't. It's not working for the space I'm in, unfortunately. So they're
Uh,
in my arts room. Me and my partner have like a second room where you can do music, or she likes to craft or whatever. So
Sweet.
I gotta figure out a good spot for them. But yeah, they're like usually 4x4 paintings.
Nice, man. All the original. I'm into keeping art for stuff that has. Or, I'm sorry, I'm into keeping art which is related to things that I do for projects like the Evisceradio logo back there. Like I bought outright. It was a hand drawn
Nice,
sort of deal. Same thing with the logo. I worked on an album a long time ago too, and I've got the original artwork for that.
nice.
Mementos, man. Like, why wouldn't you? You know what I'm saying?
Well, absolutely. I mean, like everything that we've paid Matt to do, like I paid him outright. We come up with a price point. I ask him for the originals because yeah, it is a memento. It's like a creative idea that we both worked on, and to be able to have that is just like really great. It's a part of my life, you know.
Fuck yeah, man. Here's the sentimentality. Phew.
Hell yeah,
Yeah. You said you were just wound up moving into a new place, eh?
yeah.
Yeah. Did you move for a career or did you find yourself a sweet deal? I just moved to Toronto myself, so it's interesting to hear you say that.
Uh, it's I'm more so in the city now. I was out in the suburbs, I guess, and that's fine. I drive; it's not a problem. But also, my partner moved in with me. She's from Ireland, so
Ah, yeah.
we got a place together, and it's been very nice. Very
Very cool, man.
nice.
Very cool. Are you still on the island?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I just I came up here from Nova Scotia about a year ago.
That's funny because you hear about people leaving Toronto to go to Nova Scotia for the
Mm.
cheaper housing. They sell their condos for 1.2 million, and then they go for the slow life.
Yeah, fuck that. I'm not interested. I'm going the other way. Thank you very much.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I got to a point where I just wasn't excelling at what I do for a career and
Right.
like there was a glass ceiling and I hit it and the alternative was to like move into so I worked in theater and then I was done with that and then I was either go into film and work like the quarter of a year or third of the year there and be on EI perpetually forever or come to Toronto and make that sweet fucking Toronto Skrilla. So that's exactly what I did. And for people who are leaving from one place to another to chase like a slower life or a different style, like if moving from Toronto to Halifax, for example, works for them, then like my hat's off to you. Go after what you want. Cause like the place you left is always going to be there. Like
Same with the people you left too. They'll always be there doing the same thing, and that's perfectly fine. If you want to grow, I'm with you.
yeah, and that yeah, no, for sure. I mean, like it's exactly what I wanted to do, and so again, like I don't hold anything against people for like upping and leaving. It's not an easy decision, especially when you're like rooted in your shit and like have probably
Absolutely.
stewed on the idea of leaving for quite some time. You know, it's a difficult process. You know, sometimes people won't even want to go with you. Like if you had a partner that was just like, nah, I'm staying. Like,
Yep, that is true.
yeah, yeah.
But you know, you always have to take care of number one first, and then if you're doing well, you can help others, right?
Exactly.
So
That's fucking very well put, man. Like, I mean, if you don't look after yourself, then like, how are you supposed to be able to pass it on to people who you keep close or those that you love? Like, you have to work on number one.
that's right, and
Yeah.
you know that's a crucial. Not everyone sees it that way, but you know, I'm not saying like be a dickhead. I'm just saying make sure that you're a strong person and your strength can be shared with other people.
Yeah. Fuck, man, for sure. That's very enlightening of you. Yeah, it sounds like you kind of practice the method of like improving oneself
Yeah,
like
yeah,
like period whether it's through your music or like whatever the case is like I do the same thing too like I'm always working myself whether it's like mentally or physically or just trying to be the best human I can be. And on that pursuit, what do you do for yourself that makes yourself shine and work as good as it does with the people you hold close?
Um, it's hard to say. It's too much.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't really do very much. I just practice what I preach. I don't bullshit like a lot. I just don't have time for skirting around issues. I'm a very direct person, and so that avoids a lot of things, a lot of problems if you're very direct, and you say what you mean, and you don't sort of, yeah, you just don't really bullshit basically.
Yeah.
And that can get people pissed with you if you tell the truth quite regularly, but it's how you feel and why hold back, I guess.
No.
And that's how I keep myself sort of leveled.
Yeah, great. And like, I mean, if your truths wind up pissing people off, then they're probably not the people for you.
Yeah. Having the ability to speak truth to power is a good tool.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a great it's a good tool, and it's a great filter, because like I personally want like I want to be a reflection of those who I keep around me. And so if I consider myself to be like a good leveled person, I'm going to seek that out through the person that I am. And
That's right.
So far it's been working out. The numbers do narrow, and of course everyone's got their own, baggage and bullshit and stuff like that to deal with. Like no one's fucking perfect. But
Yeah.
in the end, you got one chance to live it. You might as well have like people around you who make you rich metaphorically, So
That's right.
It's cool to hear that like you're fucking on the level of that kind of stuff, man. It's nice to know that people like that exist. It's hard to find these days.
Cheers.
The to go back to quickly to like the upgrade from the 2-piece to the 4-piece, in terms of like your guys' songwriting and stuff like that, and how it may offer pros and cons and challenges and that kind of stuff in the studio and in the writing process. Is there anything that you kind of anticipate in terms of things that you can see ahead of time that you may be able to navigate with having these extra people in, whether it's in your songwriting process or in the studio or whatever?
In what way?
Maybe like let's just say like ideas, for example, and like when you were talking about like the truths that you would drop, and some people might not liking that, like because
I'm very direct. Yeah. So with songwriting, like, and me having had most of the input on like the structures and the riffs and all this, you would think that I would be like, I don't like that, and it's true. I would be like that. But I wouldn't be a dickhead about it. I would definitely explain why I felt that way, and if they were strongly for the riff or something of that nature, or I would ply over on that. I'd say, okay, you've convinced me. It's not like I'm going to be a weird drill sergeant with that stuff. But for example, there's like this new song that we're working on. I cut out about 45 seconds because I thought the riff just dragged on a little too much, and it was kind of like a filler riff. And I explained that, and then I played it A-B'd how the song went to Julian, and we played both variations of it, and it turned out that cutting that riff out just made the song a little bit more urgent and greasy, if you will. So
greasy.
And so there's like this one, I would call it an exhumed breakdown on it, that just leading up to this breakdown, there's a riff, and that's what I cut out. And because I cut that out, when that breakdown hits, it hits really hard. And it's like Julian wrote that song, and I just sort of like helped shape it. But it's a really strong song, and you'll hear it on the next record for sure.
Yeah,
and that's how we can sort of work together. It's like when I write a riff, Julian's like the same way. He'll say, "Oh, play that a little longer, or that doesn't work, you try this. So it's always sort of had that anyways. So
Yeah, man.
I don't really foresee problems with writing material, especially having Julian Moore on the strings. It'll be like, I think, quicker to form the ideas, like in a good way.
Yeah, no, awesome. Man, the art of fucking self-editing is like, ugh. A conversation that I typically run into with people on the podcast is concerning like how to edit oneself and like not falling in love with what you write and that kind of thing. And to have someone who's in the mix who like is able to tell you to like, hold out on that riff a little bit longer, chop that out, it sounds a little bit too filler, and you not being overly attached to that is like like I said, it's an art in itself. I still I'm working on that. I tend to get into these areas in my songwriting where I'm like 90 to 95% there, and then I'm on the hamster wheel and I can't sort of get off. And so I'm always looking at other musicians and like how to troubleshoot that. You know what I mean? Some people have ideas where you just sort of, when you're jamming on your own and you stumble across a wicked melody, like have the mics running and then you just sort of like dump it in a box digitally or something. And then like you can kind of clear your headspace for like more riffs and that kind of shit. And like, should you not have like the feedback from somebody? And even if you do have the feedback from somebody, it should be someone who's unbiased to what you write. So I wanted to ask you, since we got there, like, did you, at like what point did you find yourself being able to like not be so married to the things that you write, or were you even there in the first place? You know what I mean? Like,
I mean, I come with completed songs, but like everyone has to like what I do. It can't just be me. Like you can't have that ego when you're writing a song. And so, like in my opinion, at least, like some people write songs like this is the way it is, and that's how it is.
yeah,
You
sure.
don't like it, you don't love it, leave it. But like for me, it's more like I write a song, I bring it to Julian. If Julian says that riff is a no go, then we look at that and figure out why. And that's why, yeah, then you can create a more cohesive song with your band. I've always sort of been that way.
No, that's really cool to hear. You like, rather than striking a riff, for example, you find out why it doesn't work.
Yeah, you think about it, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Just don't use it.
Sure. Cool. That's awesome little tidbit of information.
And then, like you had mentioned something about like having like sections of songs or near completed songs, and dumping them in a box, and then coming in that, leaving more room for new riffs. And it took me a long time, and I kind of do that as well now. Whereas if I have a song and it's not finished, I end up I'll hit a wall and I can't do anything with them, and that bothers me because the song's not completed. And I finally learned how to sort of like put those songs aside and then move forward, because the song that you were working on is always going to be there. You've got the frame, and then if you put it aside, you can, like you said, move forward, and just other ideas will come, and you can maybe start a new song. And then one day you'll have like that eureka moment, and you'll say, "There's the end of that song that I put over here for now."
Yeah.
Yeah.
I fucking just like about like 10 minutes before you and I sat down, I was working on, or I was just rehashing some stuff that I've been writing with a riff that had nothing, that was unrelated to the song, but I started to chord it out in a different way. And I certainly just like realized like, holy shit, that actually fucking fits this thing that I haven't been able to get past. Oh shit, it's 5 minutes to 11. I better fucking, put this away. So it's funny that you mentioned that, because I'm going to jump right on that as soon as this sit down is over with. And
fantastic. That's awesome. Like, I'm glad that's finally hit you. It's really great.
Well, to bring it back, like I'm about like growing, like I'm like this YouTube thing that I'm doing and the radio shit that I do. Like, it's just to fucking be the better person and to enjoy my ride. You know what I mean? And like, if I can have like-minded people such as yourself and like some of the other people I've had on this show, like that just makes the fucking trip that much better. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's really cool to share information and like just and overall like fucking just excitement for what a person can do, you know, given the time.
Yeah.
And like and then how to troubleshoot and how to move ahead and like work on challenges and stuff. Like I'm all about growth.
Yeah, man. Like I'm all about the philosophy of the person you are yesterday is not the person you are today or the person you will be in the future, you know, because it's about growth.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
So I got one more question for you concerning your guys' sound.
yep.
I don't know. Like, I'm not sure. Did you guys record and mix the things yourself? I did not seem to check about like who sits behind the board or like who produces the.
Oh, that is Cody. Cody is a staple. He's a pillar of the community. He's Cody's been in like a billion bands. He's been in he was drumming in Iskra for years, and then he's done a million other things. Right now, he's in a death metal band called Hedonist. He plays in Irish traditional bands. He's just
hilarious.
A guy that works hard, and I've been recording with him since I've lived in Victoria, and he just knows what to do, and he doesn't really have an ego. He'll soft produce you, basically. He'll sort of coax you to where you need to be.
Yeah, give you a steer somewhere.
Yeah, and he just over the years has built up his studio, and he recorded the first record, and he recorded the second record, and you can hear the difference from the first to the second, and that's just him growing, and his ability is getting stronger. He also played bass with us briefly as well, so he really knows our music, and yeah, we'll be working with him again for the third album.
Yeah,
it's good to have that rapport.
Yep, absolutely. I was gonna go that route. Like you can hear like the stark differences, but like also similarities between the first and the second one, and obviously that'll carry over to the third one. Sometimes people, or actually a lot of people, myself included, will consider that like the mix is like another instrument into itself. When you guys are going into the studio with the songs you have ready, do you have an overall mix in mind? Now, this might be a weird question because you guys are directly like in relation with with Cody there, but like, do you have a mix in mind that fits the sonic palette of your guys' tunes, or like does it steer a little bit just in terms of like how the overall sounds are captured via the mics?
I would say it's how it overall sounds via the mic. It's really the amps do a lot of work, and then of course tuning your damn drums before you record is crucial. And Cody is just like a drummer number one, and so he knows what that is, and so when he sets you up, he lets you sort of dial in your sound, and he just captures that and works with what you've given him as like a true professional will, right? And then
absolutely
we're with them every step of the way through the mixing. Like I'd say we go about, for the amount of time that we were in the studio physically recording our music, we're also there for the same amount of time mixing and editing with him, unless like he's doing small edits, like, you know, this I can hear a stick click here. Like we let him do that stuff on his own. But like aside from that, like we're with him most of the time, every time. And we've all learned stuff when you're sitting in a studio with the guy and you see the tips and tricks that he's doing to smooth out your sound, and like that's interesting. You get to really learn the ropes in a different way.
Oh, for sure, man. And it better prepares you for like when you're going into the next one, you know what I mean? And like, yeah, it just makes for a much smoother ride. I used to write out a lot of studio stuff in my 20s and shit. It's not so much anymore. I record amateur like my own shit here in this space, but I miss that creative element of being inside the studio with all the hot microphones and the fucking awesome, like, you know, stacks and like just the isolation room with the wicked tune drums, all that kind of shit. I'd love to fucking get back into that one day.
Yeah, it's a chore though, you know, it's a labor of love. So
Yeah,
be
well,
ready for that.
well, hey man, like sometimes this is a fucking labor of love, you know,
Absolutely.
and it's an expensive habit, but it is what it is. I still gonna jump in every time. So maybe one day, you never know.
Killer. Yeah.
But listen,
The,
dude, I'm super happy that you got to sit down with me finally, or at least stand out and get some outdoors in and have a nice friendly chat. You guys rip. I look forward to like the third album for sure, man. And if you ever wanted to sit in again on one of these interviews, like, you are more than welcome.
well, thank you very much. And, you know, great to meet you. Thanks for not talking about the latest death metal with me, you know, like
No, I
just
don't.
having a conversation, you know, I like these types of interviews. So thank you.
Yeah, no, of course, man. I'm all about that stuff too. Natural and organic. It's been a great chat.
Absolutely. Have a great day, and we'll chat online later.
You betcha, brother. Take care now.
Cheers.
There you have it. Altered Dead, man. Dropping some fucking gold nuggets in terms of, you know, fucking studio approaches, how they're going to feel going from the 2 to a 4, just what's going on in the scene down there. Great conversations. Fuck, I love doing this show. Altered Dead are on Instagram, Facebook. They got a Bandcamp going. Do yourself a favor. Go check their shit out. It is fucking dope, nasty, gruesome, disgusting death metal that should definitely be in your catalog. Did you like what you saw? Please leave a comment in the comment section down below. And don't forget to give Evisceradio some love, please. Give me a thumbs up, a subscribe, hit the notification dingy bell thing. I'm on all social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, etc., etc. So yeah, man, show me some love and please give me a follow. And if radio jams are your thing, I have a 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time podcast radio daily on metaldevastationradio.com, where just like on this YouTube show, I'm sitting down with music that I dig and just being a dick in front of the microphone. It's a great time. So should that be your deal, just head over to metaldevastationradio.com and get what's good. And thanks again so much for watching this episode. I hope you had a great time. I had a great time sitting down and doing these things. This is a labor of love. It's a great passion project. I really dig doing this kind of stuff. I get a chance to talk to awesome people on the regular. And if you like regular awesome stuff, keep your ear to the ground in terms of what's happening in the Evisceradio camp. I got a great fall lineup with some kick-ass bands and some other industry types. I got some podcast people I'm going to talk to. It's going to be awesome. I can't wait to do it. So yeah, thanks again, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Yes.